Hi, friends. Welcome back to Just Call Me Viv. This week, we're going to focus on the last month of the year and working on our goals. But before we come up with a plan on reinventing ourselves at the beginning of the next year, I want you to take some time to contemplate. So, before you write a single goal for next year, before you jump into the whole new year, new me excitement that comes with embracing a new year, I want you to ask yourself one question that most women and most people avoid because they're afraid of what it might reveal. What is the honest truth about the year that you just lived, right? So I really want you to have that question in your mind. Not a tidy version of the question, or not the version that you imagined, not the version or the mask that you present to your friends during holiday dinners or gatherings, and not the version that is shaped by your shame or your need to compare yourself to others or live up to others' expectations. So I want you to tell the truth that your body actually remembers even when your mind tries to skip over or skip ahead, because you really can't create any real change on top of a story that you haven't told yourself yet. So it's time to reflect, get a journal, a pen. It could be your notes app, but it's time to dig in deep. So let's breathe in, really breathe in, and think about what this year was like for you. So this time of year, especially at the end, can feel like emotional quicksand for many of us. Expectations pulling at you, memories rising, and ultimately the pressure to be on when all you want is a quiet corner and a warm blanket. And I know this season, I've lived through enough years to understand that December isn't the end of the calendar. It's the end of a version of us. We're always growing and evolving. And that can feel kind of eye-opening, tender, and sometimes it can feel really heavy. There can be a sadness that can accompany some of this reflection, and sometimes it can feel really confusing. But here's something that I've learned as a woman, mother, woman in midlife who has reinvented herself many times over, more than once. You don't move forward by forcing yourself, right? It's never worked for anyone. And you actually do move forward by understanding yourself, your behaviors, who you are, and where you're going. So this episode is a soft landing, a moment for you to slow down and let your shoulders relax and gently ask, how did this year really feel for me, without judgment? Just really the honest truth, the kind that is freeing to you. And it can feel hard. And I'm here to help guide you through that. There's a strange loneliness that shows up at the end of the year. So that nostalgia, especially for women or anyone who carries a lot, who carry some burdens, a lot of weight, a lot of responsibilities. And you might be the emotional anchor for your family. You may be the primary caregiver if you're a single parent. You might be the one who remembers the birthdays. You may be the one who manages the holidays. You may be the one who smooths the tension and who keeps everything running in the background. You might be the one who others depend on even when you're quietly running on empty. And when the world tells you to make big goals, there's a part of you that whispers, I'm still catching up to myself. I'm still tired. I'm still trying to figure out what I even want. And that can be a lot. That can be unsettling in many ways. So, this episode really honors the part of you, the part that rarely gets time or space to be heard. Because before you can create any new beginning, you need to meet yourself where you actually are, not where you think you should be. So this is progress, not perfection. And we're all meeting ourselves where we currently are, not this ideal place where we thought we should be, where we are living in this moment, so that we know where we're going. And that meeting point, that tender honesty, is where clarity begins. So I love good articles. I love good sources of research that help me understand and frame this for you. So I read something years ago that really stayed with me from the Harvard Reflection Project. And it basically said that people who regularly pause to reflect and gain more clarity and follow through, they actually follow through more than people who don't. So essentially, if you reflect and take the time to reflect, you're more likely to follow through on your goals. And a study by the University of Texas said that telling the truth, even being honest, helps release that stress. So even writing it down helps release some of the stress that you carry. So every time that I've skipped reflection, I've started the next year really exhausted and really confused, right? Sort of not knowing where I was going, not understanding my internal compass or my direction. However, every time that I've slowed down and allowed myself the time to reflect on the truth, I've stepped into the next chapter calmer, stronger, and more grounded. So, reflection is really how we honor the emotional labor that we carried. It's how we close a chapter intentionally rather than dragging it loose and dragging the loose ends into the next month or into the next year. It's not about picking apart your mistakes or picking apart your life or picking apart the choices that you have made. It's really about reclaiming the wisdom of your lived experience. And you have so much wisdom. You really do, more than you give yourself credit for. This is a moment to step into and really embody and embrace who you are and also who you're becoming. So let's sit with some of these things together. This is the time to pause the video if you need to, grab your journal, open up your notes app. This is not just an exercise, and this isn't sort of homework. This is a quiet conversation for us to have between two women or two human beings who know how much life can hold. So the first question is, what worked for you this year? Not the grand, impressive things, but the subtle shifts, the boundaries that you did set, and the moments where you said, I can't, and honored it. It's the days where you chose rest instead of pretending you were fine, or it's the days you expressed that you were not okay, because sometimes it's okay to express that you're not okay. Second question is, what drained you? What zapped the energy of you, even if you feel guilty admitting it? Was it a relationship? Was it a role that you've outgrown? Was it a job? The way you keep rescuing everyone by yourself? Third question is, where did you surprise yourself? So these are the wins. Where did you grow, even if no one saw it? And fourth question for you is, what came to the surface that you didn't expect? Was it grief? Was it desire, anger, hope, exhaustion? And what have you been carrying for so long that your body is begging you to put it down? These are not easy questions. They're brave ones. And that's the whole purpose of this time for reflecting. But this kind of, truth telling and honesty is the one that opens doors to real change. Because once you tell the truth to yourself, you're not telling this to anyone, you don't set goals from shame or comparison anymore. You set them from a place of alignment with yourself. You set them from a place of clarity, from being grounded. You come from a place of self-respect. And this is exactly what I want for you. So here's what I want you to walk away with this week or today. You didn't feel this year. Absolutely not. You had many wins. You survived this year and you have learned from it. And we still have a ways to go. We have a beautiful life to go. You learned from this and you're allowed to begin again as many times as you want to. You don't have to just start at the beginning of the year. You can start right now. You can start in 6 weeks. You can keep starting over and over again. The story isn't behind schedule, and you're not late to the game. You're not late to start. You're not lost. You're actually evolving. And evolution and reinvention is not a race, it's really a rhythm, it's a way of life. And you deserve a beginning that feels like yours, not like a performance for the world. So here's a gentle takeaway for you, something you can hold on to this week, this day. Write it down, jot it, remember it as, a little gift that you're giving yourself this week. Take 10 minutes of time, and you can be somewhere alone, even if it's your car or your bedroom or a small room even in your office, and ask one truth-telling question. What part of this year is asking you to be acknowledged? Just that's it. What part of this year is asking to be acknowledged? No plan, no pressure, just presence, and let that be the starting point. This is the work I'll be guiding you through this month of December, or any month whenever you open up this podcast, slowly, honestly, in ways that help you move from feeling stuck to feeling clear, confident, and grounded again in your experience as a human being, in your experience as a woman. And when the time comes, if you want to get deeper, if you want the tools, the community, the support to really expand, there's a space that I'm building for you, a space where we'll do this work together in a much bigger way. But for now, let's just start with the absolute truth, right, about how this year went. So thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode softened something in you, if it resonated with you, I'd appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, or share it with a friend. If it reminded you to slow down, if it, made you feel a little less alone, share it with a woman you love, with any human that you love, because we're all carrying something into this new year, and none of us should do it alone by ourselves. I'll see you next week as we take the next step together, gently, honestly, and with a lot of clarity. Just tell me what your direction is in the comment section below. And until next time, please take care of yourselves.